Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we explore the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has fascinated and puzzled humanity for decades: unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. But we're not talking about blurry photos or anecdotal stories. We're looking at cases with credible witnesses, official documentation, and evidence that is incredibly difficult to dismiss. These are the UFO encounters that even the most hardened skeptics have a hard time explaining away. So buckle up as we journey through some of the most compelling UFO evidence that simply can't be denied. Let's start with a case that made headlines worldwide: the Nimitz incident of 2004. For 2 weeks, the U.S. Navy's Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, conducting training exercises off the coast of Southern California, detected multiple anomalous aerial vehicles. These objects, later nicknamed Tic Tacs for their shape, performed maneuvers that defied our known laws of physics. They descended from 80,000 feet to just above the ocean in seconds, hovered without any visible means of propulsion, and accelerated at speeds that would be impossible for any human-made aircraft to withstand. What makes this case so undeniable? First, the witnesses. We have multiple highly trained fighter pilots, including Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, who saw the object with their own eyes. They described a smooth, white, oblong craft about 40 feet long, with no wings, no rotors, and no exhaust plumes. Second, the data. The object was tracked on advanced radar systems by multiple ships and aircraft simultaneously. The USS Princeton, an Aegis-class cruiser, had been tracking these objects for days. Finally, we have the now famous FLIR video footage released by the Pentagon itself, showing the Tic Tac object darting around, confirming the pilot's visual accounts. When you combine expert eyewitness testimony with corroborating sensor data from some of the most advanced military hardware on the planet, the weather balloon explanation just doesn't hold up. The Pentagon even officially refers to them as unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, acknowledging they don't know what they are. Next, let's travel back to 1986 to the Japan Airlines Flight 1628 incident over Alaska. Captain Kenju Terauchi, a veteran pilot with over 10,000 flight hours, was flying a Boeing 747 cargo plane from Paris to Tokyo. As they flew over eastern Alaska, he and his crew witnessed 2 small, brightly lit objects flying in formation with their aircraft. These objects then disappeared, only to be replaced by a much larger, gigantic craft that Terauchi described as being twice the size of an aircraft carrier. He said it felt like they were being watched by this massive shadowed mothership. Now you might think this is just a pilot's wild story, but here's the clincher. Both the flight's onboard weather radar and ground-based military radar at the FAA's Anchorage Air Route Traffic Control Center confirmed the presence of an unidentified target near the 747. At first, FAA controllers couldn't see it, but then a primary return popped up on their screens. A solid object, not just a transponder signal. They scrambled military jets to intercept, but by the time they arrived, the object was gone. The FAA conducted a full investigation and, despite trying to attribute the sighting to tricks of light or ice crystals, their own official report could not explain the corroborated radar data. The head of the FAA at the time, Admiral Donald Engen, even held a press conference confirming that they had tracked an unknown object for several minutes. This combination of experienced flight crew testimony and verified ground and air radar evidence makes the JAL 1628 case a cornerstone in UFO research. Let's move to a mass sighting event that took place over a major European capital: the Belgian UFO wave. Between 1989 and 1990, thousands of people across Belgium, including military personnel and police officers, reported seeing large, silent, triangular-shaped craft flying low in the sky. These objects often had bright lights at each corner and a central red light. The sheer number of witnesses makes this case extraordinary. This wasn't 1 or 2 people. It was a nationwide phenomenon. The Belgian military took these reports very seriously. On the night of March 30th, 1990, the event peaked. 2 military radar stations on the ground independently locked onto one of these triangular objects. The Belgian Air Force scrambled 2 F-16 fighter jets to intercept. For over an hour, the pilots attempted to engage the target. Multiple times, they successfully achieved a radar lock-on, only for the object to perform instantaneous changes in speed and altitude that were far beyond the capabilities of their F-16s. The object would drop thousands of feet in a single second, or accelerate to incredible speeds, breaking the radar lock. The pilot's chase was recorded on their onboard systems. The head of operations for the Belgian Air Force, Colonel Wilfried de Brouwer, later publicly stated, "The Air Force has arrived at the conclusion that a certain number of anomalous phenomena have been produced. The evidence was exceptional." To this day, the Belgian UFO wave remains one of the most well-documented and baffling cases, supported by thousands of witnesses, police reports, and official military radar and pilot testimony. Another powerful piece of evidence comes from the Phoenix Lights incident in 1997. On the evening of March 13th, thousands of people in Arizona, including the then-Governor Fife Symington, witnessed a massive V-shaped craft, estimated to be a mile wide, glide silently over the state. Witnesses described it as being so large that it blocked out the stars as it passed overhead. It moved slowly and made absolutely no sound. The event was seen by people across a 300-mile corridor, from the Nevada border, through Phoenix and down to Tucson. Initially, the official explanation was that the lights were military flares dropped from an A-10 Warthog aircraft during a training exercise, and indeed, a separate event involving flares did occur that night. However, the flare explanation doesn't account for the primary sighting of the colossal, structured V-shaped craft that moved as a single, solid object. Many witnesses, including pilots and air traffic controllers, were adamant that what they saw was not a formation of planes or flares. Years later, former Governor Symington, who had initially mocked the incident at a press conference, came forward to admit he had seen it too. He described it as otherworldly and enormous, and stated that he was convinced it was not of human origin. When a sitting governor witnesses the event and later confirms its reality, it adds a layer of credibility that is impossible to ignore. Finally, we can't discuss undeniable UFO evidence without mentioning the Rendlesham Forest incident, often called Britain's Roswell. In December 1980, near two active U.S. Air Force bases, RAF Bentwaters and RAF Woodbridge, military personnel witnessed strange lights descending into the nearby forest. Security patrolmen were sent to investigate. They found a small, metallic, triangular craft hovering or standing on legs in a clearing. Sergeant Jim Peniston, one of the first on the scene, got close enough to touch the craft, which he described as feeling warm and covered in strange, hieroglyphic-like symbols. He made detailed notes and sketches in his official notebook. The next day, investigators found depressions in the ground where the object had landed, as well as broken tree branches and abnormally high radiation readings at the site. 2 nights later, the object returned. This time, the deputy base commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, went into the forest with a team and a micro-cassette recorder, documenting the events in real time. His famous Halt tape is a chilling, moment-by-moment account of his team chasing flashing lights through the forest, one of which beamed down a laser-like light at their feet and later near the base's weapons storage area. We have multiple high-ranking military witnesses, physical trace evidence, radiation readings, and a real-time audio recording from a deputy base commander. The Ministry of Defense's official files, now declassified, confirm the radiation readings and the inability to explain the events. So what do we make of all this? From Navy pilots chasing tic-tacs to Belgian F-16s trying to intercept silent triangles, to a mile-wide craft over Phoenix. These aren't just stories. They are documented events, backed by multiple expert witnesses, radar data, official reports, and sometimes even physical evidence. While we still don't know exactly what these objects are or where they come from, their existence is becoming harder and harder to deny. The conversation has shifted from if they are real to what they are. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into some truly baffling cases. What do you think? Are these weather phenomena, secret military tech, or something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of the unknown, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the unexplained. Thanks for watching. and stay curious.